Okay, I'm going to bring in the cardstock layers for our next card. This card base is Gorgeous Grape, and it is 5.5 by 8.5. I've already folded it and burnished it. Then I've got a piece of Whisper White that's 4 by 5.25. This isn't in the written instructions. It's an extra piece that I like to show you for the inside. A piece of Bermuda Bay that is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Another piece of Bermuda Bay that is 3.5 by 4.5. Piece of Whisper White for the front. This is 3 3/4 by 5, and a scrap of Whisper White. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping here on our scrap. I'm going to bring in my Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp these flowers. We're going to stamp these, color them, and die cut them. I've got my aqua painter here, some Bermuda ink. Now, to get some ink into the lid of your ink pad, you're just going to turn it over. If you have the newer ink pads, turn it over to the back and push it. If you've got some of these older ink pads, you just open it up and squeeze it that way to get that ink into the lid. Whoops, I didn't get any ink in the lid. And there we go. And I'm going to do the same thing. If you need to, you can lay this down on your table from the back side and just push on it. That might work better for you if you don't have really strong fingers. And there we go. I've got an aqua painter here, and I'm just going to color in these flowers. Now, when you're using an aqua painter on Whisper White cardstock, you don't want to do too many brush strokes because this is water. This paper isn't really made for watercoloring. So just keep that in mind. You want to do, get in here and get your job done of coloring your little image. I would never use an aqua painter and ink like this if these were big flowers, because you can do this on smaller images but not little ones. It just really doesn't turn out well. But I really like our aqua painters, and they until we got the Stampin' Blends, which I adore, the aqua painter and ink like this was my favorite way of coloring. Okay, now we're just going to squeeze it a little bit to get some water to come out, and we're going to clean this off, and you just keep rubbing it back and forth until your brush is clean. I'm going to come in and grab some of the Gorgeous Grape and color this little part of the flower. I probably would have used Stampin' Blends on these flowers, but we do not have Gorgeous Grape in the Stampin' Blends yet. I'm hoping it's coming soon. And there we go. Oops, I got a little bit here that I missed. And then I'm going to die cut these. With the dies that come in the bundle, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's our little flowers, and I am going to add some Wink of Stella to the purple layer on our flowers, and that just adds some sparkle and a little bit of interest to these cute little flowers. Okay, now we're ready to stamp up our front layer. Now that's the smaller of these two layers. I'm going to bring that Stamparatus back in here because I've still got it placed from the other card that we made, and why not use it again, right? So we can put Let's see, is this how this is going to go? Nope. I need it to go like this time. Okay, here we go. Yep, that's going to work just fine. Then the other thing that I need to do with this, whoops, I need this to be held in place better. And I should probably move this up into your frame so you can see what's going on here. How about this? Sorry, you guys. I'm just lining this up in the Stamparatus, just like I did for the last card. And then I've got this little corner stamp that I also want to stamp down here. So I'm going to put that in place. And I think that's going to turn out just perfect. Ink to do this, right? And we are going to, whoops, look at that. I've got my magnet in the way, you guys. So I'm going to ink that up again. Watch out for those magnets. Got to keep them out of the way. Here we go. Oh my gosh, that turned out just beautiful. So, super fun. I love the Stamparatus. If you don't have one, you can order one in my store. They're $49. They're worth their weight in gold, I'm telling you. All right, the other thing that I need to do is I need to stamp my words. And as long as I have my Stamparatus out here, why not use it, right? So let me get the words. I'm using the greeting, Life is Sweeter with Friends Like You from the Detailed with Love stamp set. This is another great set to use that Stamparatus with. Okay, and I think I want my greeting to go right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another plate here. Your Stamparatus comes with 2 plates. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to move this out of the way and just make sure that this is stamping straight on my grid. And it looks just a little bit crooked. I'm going to move it just a little bit. Watch this. This is how you set this up to make sure that everything's going to be nice and straight and even. And then you can go to town. Yep, that looks perfect. Okay, I'm going to turn this back over so we can put our card back in on our grid paper here. So make sure I've got it lined up correctly. Ink this up again. Sometimes those greetings are hard to stamp straight, and I find that I am going to my Stamparatus more and more to get the greetings on there perfectly, if nothing else, because, you know, you stamped this, you went through all the trouble, and then you stamp your greeting, and it's a little bit crooked. Ugh, makes me crazy. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, we are ready to continue on here. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my aqua painter and some of this Bermuda Bay ink. And I'm going to color in 2 of these 3 leaves down here. I want to make sure they're nice and dark. Then we're going to clean this aqua painter off. And this die fits right in to the leaves that we have stamped on here. I'm going to run this through my Big Shot to cut out a few of them, and I'll be right back. Okay, so all those leaves just dropped right out of there, and isn't that just a really neat look? Now, as long as I had my Stamparatus in here, I should have stamped the other Bermuda Bay layer that we have. So we're going to do that right now, and I apologize for not doing that all together. But because it's in the Stamparatus, we can do it as many times in different segments as we need to, right? So here's that smaller piece of Bermuda Bay, and I'm just going to put this in my Stamparatus. Oops, it looks a little bit crooked. Hang on, there we go. And we're going to ink this side up. We're going to stamp that right on here. Oh, this is going to look really cool. This is one of the really neat features about this bundle. There we go. Now we're going to bring this piece in right behind this white piece that we die cut, and this is going to fit in there perfectly. And look how you've got those peek throughs with that different color. Isn't that neat? Okay, let's glue this in place. Just put a little glue up here. Bring this right in here and slide it into place. There we go. And now these little flowers that we colored are going to get popped up. Oops, hang on, I just lost one. There it is. I thought for sure I lost it for good. I'll pop these up on dimensionals. I've sure got a lot of things sticking to me tonight, don't I? It's making me a little crazy. Do you ever have that happen where it's like, oh! Yeah. I'm just going to place these right over the stamped images that are there. And now we're ready to put our card together. So see how this is, doesn't matter whether this is straight or not, just as long as you get it to line up with the punched holes in the front. You could also put this white layer up on dimensionals if you wanted to. I'm just going to glue it right down. And we're going to add this. This is pretty striking colors. And then I think for our white layer, we're going to come in and just stamp this little flower right down here in the corner. And we're going to grab our aqua painter and color this in. Oh my gosh, can you hear the wind blowing outside? The wind just picked up and it's like howling out there. Wipe that off a little bit, and I'm going to come in here with my Bermuda Bay again. Kind of letting that bleed into the flower below. That gives it kind of a pretty color. Okay, we are ready to add this to the inside. And then our card is complete. And we'll get going on that next card.